Planning to work in New Zealand? I'm here to tell you that sadly, you may no longer meet the Accredited Employer Work Visa. Yes, the government has been making a lot of changes and immigration setting is not left out of these changes. The government have recently implemented several changes to the Accredited Employer Work Visa criteria. These changes are affecting the minimum skill requirement, minimum English requirement, and visa length and stay in New Zealand, and in turn have significant impact on current and prospective holders of this temporary work visa. This video breaks down the key updates and what this means to visa applicants and even their employers. Welcome back to my channel. It's Girl, the Sassy Engineer. In this video, I'll be talking about the 2024 changes to the new Accredited Employer Work Visa application. On April 7, 2024, the New Zealand government, through the Minister of Immigration, announced the implementation of significant changes to the Accredited Employer Work Visa. These new rules would impact current and prospective Accredited Employer Work Visa holders. You know, the Accredited Employer Work Visa is the main New Zealand work visa that employers use to hire foreign workers from various countries. Okay, this temporary work visa allows individuals like you to live and work in New Zealand for up to 5 years, depending on such factors like salary, time of your initial Accredited Employer Work Visa, and job classification under the Australian and New Zealand Standard Classification of Occupation, that's the ANSCO. I've discussed this already on my channel, link showing up now, or check the description box. So what is changing? I'll start with new applications. The New Zealand government has updated the eligibility criteria for new Accredited Employer Work Visa applications. There are now higher requirements that need to be met. The first one is minimum standard of English. So new applicants in the ANSCO level 4 and 5 roles must prove their ability to speak and understand English. What that means is that if your job is classified as ANSCO level 4 or 5, you need to show that you can speak and understand English. Fortunately, these requirements will not apply to your partner or children, and it won't also affect applications submitted between 21st June 2023 and 6th April 2024. Next change affects the minimum skill requirements. If you want to apply for a new Accredited Employer Work Visa, you need to show proof of your past work or your education. Your employer needs to see that you have the skills for the job before they hire you. The new minimum skill requirements would need to be met by new applicants, with exemptions to those on the green list role that have met the role requirements of that green list role, or those paid at least twice the median wage. What this means is that if your job is not on the green list, or you don't earn at least double the average wage, you will need to have worked in a similar job for at least 3 years, or finished a course at level 4 or above in the New Zealand education system. The New Zealand education system is known as New Zealand Qualifications and Credential Framework, NZQCF. So you can go online and compare your qualification with and see how that transcribes to New Zealand qualification. If your qualification is less than a bachelor's degree, then International Qualification Assessment, IQA, that I talked about in this video that I'll be showing right now, I'm going to put the link in the description box. So that IQA is required if your qualification is less than bachelor's degree, which means you will need to apply for an assessment of your studies, and your qualification or work experience must be in the same field or industry as the job that you have been offered. The proof of work experience that you're going to submit with the application must be from someone else. So you can't use documents that you wrote yourself. Note that. The third thing that is changing for new visa application has to do with the visa length and stay in New Zealand. If you recall the video I posted some time ago about them extending the maximum continuous stay on Accredited Work Visa to 5 years, now this is going to change for some people. For some jobs, you can now only stay for a shorter period in New Zealand. Some workers in the ANSCO level 4 and 5 jobs whose initial application was submitted on or before 7th April 2024 or before 21st June 2023 will have their maximum visa length reduced to 2 years, with the ability to apply for 1 more year but with a new job check, which means that their maximum continuous stay in New Zealand is reduced to 3 years. I'll explain maximum continuous stay soon, so just hold on. If you are a worker employed in the ANSCO level 4 and 5 jobs that are on the green list, or in the transport and care sector agreement, and you're on a path to residence earning 1.5 times the median wage, you will not be affected by these changes. I know it's a bit much, but I hope what I've just said explains it better. Otherwise, read the news on the website for clarity. People with jobs in ANSCO level 1 to 2 can still stay for 5 years maximum stay with an accredited employer work visa. This part is for those who have an existing accredited employer work visa. So if you are a current holder of an accredited employer work visa, the changes that were made on April 7, 2024 might still affect your length of stay in New Zealand, depending on the job that you have. So depending on your job. 1. If you got your first accredited employer work visa before 21st June 2023 and you are in the ANSCO level 4 or 5 job that pays you the needed wage required or even above, then you may no longer be eligible for the full 5 years maximum duration, especially if you have your 3 years already. But if you are a current holder of the accredited employer work visa and you have a level 4 or 5 job and you are on a pathway to residency in New Zealand, these changes will not affect you, which is good to know. The third change is that if you're a current holder of an accredited employer work visa and you apply for another accredited employer work visa after 7 April 2024, so like you apply, let's say today or any time from when you see this video, you need to meet the new rules, okay, that apply to new applicants. So you, who is a visa holder interested in a further accredited employer work visa, need to meet the same rules that new applicants would need to meet, okay? You must meet this updated eligibility criteria. I've discussed the standard eligibility criteria for accredited employer work visa on this video that is popping up right now, the link, or you check the description box for the link, okay? These are the updated eligibility criteria which you will need to meet. So this one would supersede whatever I said in that video requiring these 3 sectors: minimum skill requirements, minimum English requirements, and your stay in New Zealand, maximum continuous stay in New Zealand. So yeah, those are the changes, and from these changes we have seen that those on the ANSCO level 4 or 5 jobs, those are the groups that are facing most of the limitations, particularly regarding maximum stay in New Zealand, especially if their salary is at the February 2023 median wage or below. The government believes that the net migration is unsustainable, and so on that said, the April 7, 2024, the Minister of Immigration announced this number of changes. I've talked about some in this video. Check the description box if you can't see the link. These changes are basically to tighten up the accredited employer work visa. Their reason is that it would ensure New Zealand is attracting the skills it needs and reducing the vulnerability of the current migrants to exploitation, because some of them honestly are being exploited. In the Immigration Minister's, that's Honorable Erica Stanford's word, she said, getting our immigration settings right is critical to the government's plan to rebuild the economy. So these changes have already come into effect since April 7, 2024. What is maximum continuous stay? This is where I pause to ask, if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, this is the time to click the subscribe button to join the community. Click the like button to like my video, as you know it helps with YouTube algorithm. So I know this video is helpful to people, I've been told. So share it wide to those you think is going to help. Alright, let's continue, because there are some things that I said earlier in the video that you probably are asking, like for instance, what is maximum continuous stay? Let's look at that one. Maximum continuous stay is the total amount of time that you will stay in New Zealand on one or more accredited employer work visa. It is vital for foreign workers and their employers, as you know, it allows the visa holder to continue working for their employer for that period. During this time, the worker can apply for a further accredited employer work visa before their current one ends. How long you can stay in New Zealand depends on many factors, such as your salary when you applied for your first accredited employer work visa, the ANSCO level of your job. What happens after reaching the maximum continuous stay? What's the next step? What happens is that you will need to spend a specified amount of time in a row outside New Zealand, depending on which side you fall on the February 2023 median wage rate. The minimum time is normally 12 months. There are some jobs that will need you to stay for a minimum time of 4 months. That's if you work in the meat or seafood processing role and earn below the February 2023 median wage, then you are given 4 months minimum, but you have to stay the complete 4 months outside of New Zealand. Otherwise, typically, it is 12 months that you have to stay outside New Zealand, not even come back for any reason. So you check out how to calculate your maximum stay through the link that I'm going to put in the description box. Again, you probably are thinking, I've been hearing this ANSCO level. ANSCO level. What is ANSCO level? Don't worry. I defined it before. I'll define it again. ANSCO means Australian and New Zealand Standard Classification of Occupation, and it serves as a standard way to collect, analyze, and share jobs in Australia and New Zealand. And it is reviewed and updated when needed. Okay, the current version that we're using, have two versions that we are using in New Zealand, and the version in use for New Zealand work assessment depends on the type of visa you are making application for. The in-demand visa, that is, skilled migrant category residence visa, accredited employer work visa, and all temporary visas use version 1.3, while all other visas use version 1.2. Exemptions apply, but it is left to the discretion of Immigration New Zealand. For instance, there are 5 level 4 and 1 level 5 roles that are currently recognized at skill level 3 or higher, pending the individual's work experience, occupational registration, relevant qualification. So this is an example of the ANSCO level 4 and 5 roles that I've been talking about since. Now you can apply for the balance of your accredited employer work visa. To apply for your balance, you need to submit a new accredited employer work visa application and pay a new visa application fee. It is recommended that you wait. Immigration New Zealand recommends that you wait until your existing accredited employer work visa is near its expiration before submitting this new application, because applying too early could complicate things if your circumstances change, as you might have to seek a different visa or modify the terms of your current one, variation of conditions. Your employer is also required to provide you with a link that is also known as job token that you will use to apply for new accredited employer work visa. You may be able to reuse the original token if you applied for your accredited employer work visa on or before 6th April 2024, but conditions apply as always and you can find out these conditions on the Immigration New Zealand website. When you're applying, you must fulfill all the criteria for the accredited employer work visa, including the new English language and skill requirements that has come into effect since April 7, 2024. So these are the changes to the accredited employer work visa criteria. Some of you may find it a bit much. That's fine, because it's a bit much, especially those in the ANSCO level 4 or 5. But I think if you plan your stuff well and gather your documents early, you should be fine. I hope I've been able to explain it for you to understand. If not, you can go to the immigration website to read about it, or go to my blog to read about it. If you don't know what accredited employer work visa is, once again, I've put the link in the description box. So check the description box of this video to watch the video on accredited employer work visa to know the eligibility criteria. Then you also check the video on my channel about the changes that were made some time ago. Then you kind of understand these new changes as well. Okay, I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope it has explained certain things that you probably had questions in your mind about, and you're like, what's going on? So this is all what is going on. I know you may find it a bit too much. That's fine, but I've tried to explain it as simple as possible in this video. And as a recap, the changes are really around minimum skill requirements, minimum English requirements, and your duration of stay in New Zealand. Hope you found this video helpful. It's your girl, the Sassy Engineer. Don't forget to click the subscribe button to join the community. Like this video to help promote my video in YouTube. Cheers. Bye.